Okay, so in this tutorial, so communicate effectively with user interfaces. So the topic is selectors. So if you want to understand my tutorial, right? If you want to learn about UiPath, I must communicate correctly and efficiently to make you understand. If I am not communicating properly, so you will not understand and you cannot do anything. So that is the powerful power of communication. So in automation, robotic process automation, so all we are going to see is communicating with some kind of applications or user interface. That is the ultimate thing that we are going to do. So always we are going to do some operations in either a desktop application or a web application. So these two are mostly 80 to 90% are covered. So rest of those are Citrix and some remote environment and some mainframe applications. So this is the maximum that you will come across. So other than that, there is nothing in this RPA world. So if you predominantly, if you see, it is the desktop application and the web application, only these two both that rule the world. Even if you log into Citrix, again, there is an application. So it has some user interface. So when this robot want to do some operation in this interfaces, it need to communicate effectively, which means robot is like a baby, right? So it needs to know where to walk and where to click and what command to give. So all this operation, we need to feed it, spoon feed it like a baby to this robot. You need to do all these steps sequentially, step by step. That is, open the application and enter the URL or enter the username, password, and click on the login. So you need to give it like very clearly and effectively, so that the communication will be even more effective, so that the exception rate will be very less. So we don't want to go into the exception. First, let's stick to the basic itself. So if I am able to give you a real-time example, right? So if I want to send a letter to your home, so the postman, think about the postman example. So he need all the information, such as which country you live in. So if I'm sending a letter to Raja, so he lives in Hong Kong. So the postman needs to know which country it is, right? So he need to know the country, he need to know the which state, and in the state, like which place he lives, and in the place, in suburb, or there in which house address he live, and what is the apartment number. So that kind of details, and finally he goes and find that person. And similarly, the robot, when needs to find the element in the screen, it needs to find all the details, like what is the application name, what is the screen name, and in which section it is, and what is the tag name. So there are different names or properties of the element it needs to know. Then only it can communicate effectively with that specific element. So that is what we are going to see about everything in this topic. We are going to learn everything, almost everything about selectors. So just what you heard so far is some introduction to selectors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take UiPath and we'll directly go from there.
Should we parallelly open the UiPath and try it ourselves, or just
no, not required, Raja. So like what you do, be relaxed, just watch it like a movie. So just enjoy the show, and at the end of the show we'll be sharing the video, and then you can do. But like it's not very strict that you no need to do. If you are very good at multitasking, you can still do it. But any questions or clarification, we have a section at the end of this session, which I'll give it to you for asking any questions. So until that, so you can listen. Thank you very much. So here, let me take, so initially take a process. So every time we create a process, right? So, so every time, whenever we create a new project, so we click on the process and we give a name. So today we are exploring selectors. So I'm giving the project name as exploring selectors. So let me give some folder. just that folder is fine. So here's some description. This project explains everything about. Guys, I say the selectors is very important because each and every time we come across these selectors, and this is the basic, this is the core of the RPA development. So we need to know about selectors for each operations, each activity that we do that has some elements, that has some operations which need the selector. So this is a basic. And when we reach here we need to either click on the open main window, or you can directly click on the main.xaml. So this is a plain file. So initially it will be blank because we haven't yet started the project. So that is why it is blank. And I'll be opening some applications now, some activities. So we can drag and drop the activities, or you can click on the plus and type the which activity you are going to do. So for this example, what I'm going to do is I need a desktop application initially. So from week 3, let me bring that the desktop application to this screen. Just bear with me. Okay, so I got a UiPath sample desktop application, and this I can give the exe executable file of this application, and so that you can also explore with this application. So consider it as a banking background application. In the backend office, you can use this, which has deposit, withdraw, split deposit, and you have a checkbox here. This may be for any specific requirement which you will be getting in the requirement document. See, the very good thing, the excellent thing about the robotic process automation is, right, you know the requirements very clearly what you are going to do. Yeah, so that is why the process design document which I talked you about in the first class. So yeah, all these step-by-step instructions are already there. So they will tell you which options to click, where to, which field to enter, and which button to submit. So everything is very clear. So it's a very stress-free job, I would say. So initially you get everything up, it's very transparent. So nothing is hidden. So this is the only place where the business opens up about all the secrets about the business requirements. So in not many places you get this opportunity, but in RPA they need to tell, because it's a robot. You need to spoon feed step by step, so you get everything clearly, and that is the best thing I like in this RPA. And in this, we need to find the requirement, right? So here is a cash in, cash honest check, and not honest check, and click on the accept. There is a transaction number generated. So you this is the output, we can tell. So there is some inputs and outputs, and here is some options. Now we are going to explore how the robot will understand all these elements. So before taking to this, I'll talk something about recording. Okay, so which is a basic step. So whenever whatever automation tool you are learning, so you will be learning something about a recording. So here we got all these different recordings. So this is one of the certification question, how many types of recording we have. So you can see 6 types here: basic, desktop, web, image, native, Citrix, and computer vision. And you no need to worry about most of things for the, even for the advanced level certification. The most important thing is the basic, desktop, and web. So these 3 you need to understand. So as the basic, you can see that it generates a full selector, and in the desktop it says it's something about the partial selector. Okay, so and the web, it can be the combination of both, the full and the partial. So no need to worry much about that. Just bear with me. So I'll be taking you there. So this basic recording, what I will do, it is for any type of application. It can be a web application as well as the desktop application. So the desktop recording is specifically for the desktop application. So what I will do, I'll generate a desktop recording now and see how it goes. Okay, so click on the desktop, and you get a small pop-up like this which says desktop recording, and you click on the record button, or you can click on the start app as well, if you know. Let me try that. So let me start again. And I'm not sure about that. I'm also exploring it after a long time. So just I click on the record, and so I click on, you like maybe it's not visible for you. I have two desktop, so it's quite challenging for me. And now I just clicked on the, in my main desktop, I clicked on the desktop application that is in the taskbar. So you see, still we are in the recording mode, because you can see it is able to capture. So what I'm going to do, I just click on the deposit and click on the cash in and type some value. There is 1, and click on enter. And in the honest check, I click 2 and enter. And not honest check, I click 3 and enter. Okay, and finally I click on the accept. So I have done a basic recording. So at this moment I click, I press the escape button in my keyboard one time, and it gives me this pop-up which says save and exit and record. So I want to save and exit. So this operation has given me a little, a small sequence, right? So I haven't done really much any coding. You can see I have just done a basic recording. So you can change this project name to some desktop explorer, and you need to give some name. And as usual, you like give some annotation and tell something about this project. Like a description, so it's clear, so that any other developer will easily understand why are you developing this project. So if you did not see initially, so this is what I done. I clicked on the this little icon in the taskbar, and I checked the radio button and type into. So if you see this is a sequence, right? It's a sequence of steps that has been followed, so which is easy to understand. And let me take this specific like activity and expand the target. So this is the target, and if you see, here is a small property called selector. So this selector, if you drag, it will give all the information about what it is. So it is a text property used to find a particular UI element when the activity is executed. It is actually a XML fragment specifying attributes of the guy element you are looking for, and some of its parents too, right? So when you click, you can see some XML code here. So if you see this is a full selector, right? Because if you see like a little deeper, it is a window which says WND. The app name is called double-ui.exe. No need to worry about any of these things. So there is a title called double-ui. And you can see the deposit radio button. So this is a radio button, and the name is deposit. So this is called a selector, and this is also a full selector. Okay, so you can edit this like you can based on the the attributes. You can either unselect and see if it is still validating. Yes, it's working. And without the title I try to give, is it working? Yes, still it is working. And without the name, is it working? Still it is working. And if I did highlight, so it's not highlighting, it couldn't find any element. So slowly I add this name, and again I validate, which is correct. But if I highlight, it's still not highlighting because it did not find which title it is. So now I give the title and just highlight. See, it's highlighting the deposit. So this is the time which it find it correctly. So this is a better option, the combination. So you can save this. So this is how a full selector is all about. And so in sometimes what happens, the title gets changed. The title will be highly dynamic. So the second time you open, it will say WI1 or 2 like this. So that time it will not work if it is not matching. So this is called as a wildcard. So if you find some fragment of this section is repeating, so you can specify that specific part as some asterisks. So this is called as a wildcard. And in this case, if you see, click on validate, it works. But if you see 1, 2, and if you validate, it works. But if you highlight, it is still working because I got a star. Oh, I did not save it. See, it didn't work now. I need to close and open it again. So I did not even get the highlight. So in that case, what you need to do, click on the indicate element and just again do this withdrawal or something. And again, it's not, you get it, the highlight. So similarly, you can do like this. So assume the title is highly dynamic. So the title can be anything after the D. So you put it as D star, which is the wildcard, and it still works because it matches. So I told you something about the wildcard operation as well. So this is something about these selectors. Let me see what I need to do next. Okay, so what you saw now is all about the full selector. So now we'll talk about something called the partial selector. Okay, so the partial selector is, so I'll delete this or I'll create a new sequence and name this as a partial selector. Now what I will do, like I just okay, so before talking anything about partial selector, I'll give you a basic introduction. So you may come across some applications where there will be multiple screens, and within the screen there will be some other control. It may be a window or it may be another screen. So there will be more control within a particular screen. Many complex applications or mainframe, not mainframe, I would say, like the Amazon. So those kind of websites. So it has a payment page and it pops up a lot of different windows. So what you need to do is like sequence of operation within a window. So that is called a partial selector. So everything is not within the Amazon window. So within Amazon, there is another window. So you need to handle that separately. So that is called a partial selectors. So to get this window, you have two options. So for a desktop application, we give some activity named attach window. So you attach a window and then do a sequence of operation. And the second thing is in a browser, you either give a attach browser or attach window again. So which I will walk through now. Attach. So if you type attach, so there is attach window. So what I do, I click on the attach window and indicate on screen. So I'm telling this is the window. Assume that this is some pop-up window. Okay. So I click on the window and then I am doing some operations. So click on drop activity. So just imagine I'm doing a click activity somewhere. And I indicate the element and say caching. Right. So if you see the cache in, now I am just going to the selector and you can see that I cannot edit the parent window, or which is the root tag or the parent tag. So I cannot edit this. So I can edit only the controls. So this is called partial selectors. And this concept is really important. We come across it again and again and again. And yeah, so you need to clearly understand or differentiate between a partial selector and a full selector. So in that case, it will be easy for you. And this is a like attach window operation. So I can do a lot of operation like type into any sequence of operations. So I type into this cache in as 1. Let me run this if it is working. So it highlighted and it worked. So it entered 1. So this is how a partial selector works, right? Let us take a real-time example, right? So that is what many of you are interested in. So let us take to automate anything website itself. So if you see this website, many of you have registered. Thanks for that. And we have different program, right? So this is a table, and I need to extract all these values and display in a log or output. I just want to extract only this, and using our previous concept as well, some programming concept, a loop or something, we need to use and extract all these values. Yes, so to do that, I'll be introducing you to some other concept as well. Like a variable creation. So we have seen some variable creation as well in the past. So using that variable, we will be extracting this variable as well as selectors, right? So let me open this and stop that and create on project. So I'm going to create a sequence. So here I give the name table value extracted. Okay, I think this name is good enough for now. Okay, so this is created, and so since this is a web application, right? So we need a like a attached browser. Okay, so since this window is already open, so no need to open Chrome again and again. So what I will do, I'll just attach this browser. Okay, so just attaching the browser, and just I'm indicating on the browser. Fair enough. So just give some name. Okay, so it looks better. Like double click on this, you get the cursor here, and Control A and delete, it will delete. So now it is so like refer to automate anything website. Okay, so now I'm going to referring to the to automate anything website, and now we'll do some some findings in the selector. So how we can we need to do some analysis, right? We cannot straight away someone give you a requirement, you don't go and code straight away. You need to understand the requirement. You need to do some analysis. So these are all take time, right? So in your estimation also you can do all these things. For my analysis and requirement understanding, I'll be taking this many time. I cannot do it immediately, right? So definitely I also need some time to analysis. So let us analyze this first, which is a best practice to do. So here is a thing called get text. Sorry, mate. So get text. So I'm indicating this element. Okay, so which is the element I want to take? So this is the element. So here is the guy. So I click on him, and just I'm typing like grab value, like table value, right? Grab table value. So now if I go and edit selector, I'll be highlighting this element, right? Yeah. So it is highlighted, which is very good. So our analysis is going in a right way, right direction. And you can see this IDX and tag. This is called tag, right? So this is called some each tag, and it's the property name is IDX and tag, and the table is table. Okay, so this is very good. We got a table. We are going to extract the value, but programmatically this is not helping me. So the table structure, it has to be a row and a column. So that is how we can do that. So with this tag, I am not able to do anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just opening UI Explorer. Okay, so this is the engine. This is called the object repository. In many of the automation tools, and it gives me explorer window. Okay, And so if you see at the left, this is exactly the convention of the XML tags. So this TD is highlighted. If you highlight from here, it just highlights, right? So in case if you want to highlight the next TD, just click here and highlight. It's still there, but I want to click this. You can move up or down to replace, but now I think my mouse did not click it properly. So I'm just clicking other tag and trying to highlight how it works. It's still there. It's not working the way I want it. Maybe let me give a try. Still give a try. If it doesn't work, it's fine. But you can clearly see there is a table, right? And there are a body and something is there. So something is wrong, it's not working. But what you can do, alternatively, try indicating the element. So now I want to change this element to something else and see if it is coming there. Yeah. So if you can see, it comes to some other TD, and just I'm highlighting that. See, it highlights. So it's working there, but I am not able to traverse to this way, but some other way it is happening. Now let me come to this. But yeah, now it is changing. See, the robot works correctly. Like, as a human, we make a lot of mistakes, as I say every time. So I need to move to the right tag and then click. So now I am here and then highlight. It's somewhere else. Yeah, it's still keeping the same, but that's okay. And you need to understand this is some tree structure. Okay, so you can do some operation here when you indicate some other element. So it takes you there as a, it will be highlighted in black, and you can highlight it from here, right? So it highlights correctly. And there are two some important frameworks underneath. It's working there. You need to understand default, activity accessibility, UI automation. So by default, it is default. It works fine in most of the cases. In case if it didn't work right, you can go to active accessibility, and even that also not working, go to UI automation. So there are some complex applications like mainframe, which is not straightforward. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you cannot tell that, you cannot complain the UI path is not working. The robot always is perfect. Always we may make mistakes. So you try all these options, then you still I done the feasibility study and this is not working. So we'll try all this option. So first place to try is this section, and second place is to try is this section, which is the select editor. You can select all this range of operations and then click on the validate, and you can highlight the element. So now it is validate is successful. Now you highlight, it's still highlighted, right? So you can do all these combinations and then see if you are able to match this value. But as you know, we are interested in this column. So I'll try to make it quick now. I can see the time is running out. Um, so if you see here, so there is something interesting here, right? The table row and table column is leaf. So this is fine. I don't want this tag. I just want these things, right? And it is saying table 1 column 5. So next time what I do, like I update, and this time I click on something else, the last row. Well, I think last time also I clicked, okay, no, 6. See table 1 column 6. So this is exactly what I wanted. Table 1 column row, but I don't want the tag which is TD. So that is not that useful. So excellent, so if you see here, leaf, table column, table row. And if you see the common property, the table column was, this table, and the row is changing. So it's in the column 1, value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So this is what exactly wanted. So what I'm going to do, I'll close the UI Explorer now. And here, like what I'm going to do is I'll inside the do loop, I'll be creating a variable called the index. Okay, so index, so which is a number. So I'm going to change the values, the row values using this index, right? So it is int 32. So I need to give this variable type as integer, and by default, if you see, I want to see what is the default value. So the default is, oh my gosh, so it's not working that way. Again, it has, since I have indicated the element again, so I need to modify it, sorry. So if you see the index, so the table row is 2, right? So I just need the table row, table column, and is leaf, so which is the table. And I don't want this tag, so I unselected this, click on this save. So I hope you got it now. And I need this one, the table row. So what I will do, like control space, okay, and you get this one here. So index. So straight away you have parameterized, okay. So it will not work now, but now we have created the table value that we want to take. Okay, so just do a while loop. So there is a condition. So we need to give the condition as index. So since it is starting from 2, we have 5 values. So it is 6 or 7. I guess it is 7. And just bring the grab value to inside. And you give some log message. So last time you saw message box and right line. Now we give the log message. Give us info and give the text as name. That is what you are extracting it. Give a space and press. Yeah, so now I cannot give the index here. It will press 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So when you are getting the value, when you are grabbing the value, just save it in a string variable. So I'm pressing Control K and type text. Okay, press enter. So here just give the text. I expect this will work. And one more thing, we are inside a while loop, right? So we need to increase the counter every time. So by default, it is 2, right? So that is why we give here like 2 because the starting value is 2. And just press assign and give index is index plus 1, right? Excellent. Let me try to run this and see how it works. I hope the professional transformation program page must be open because we are just attaching the window. So just run it. Okay. Let's see what happens.
Dinesh, what is leaf?
I believe that is a table.
Okay.
So
And those are the TDs or columns and rows we define. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So just when you are trying in your home, try without ease leaf and see if it works or not. So when I gave the ease leaf was creating some issue without that. So if it works, absolutely fine. Just give it. So it's all about exploring. So yeah, but that's a good question to have. Just you find the answer and let me know.
Okay.
Thanks, Raja. So the execution is absolutely fine. See, now I got the value exactly from the table, so 2AA, PTP, IND induction program, we had it for free, and the software program foundation is 100. And yeah, so all this value up to 4. So we got all the value. So this is how, see, I did not do much operation, just with only one, this value, I'm able to grab all this output. So which is really excellent, right? Thank you very much for watching my video. Stay tuned. Have a good day.